Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm back. I went out to go post my link just in case anybody wants to come up. Um, thank everyone who has decided to join this live. Once again, we're going to talk about what happens when the narcissist loses control. And this may be more than just a narcissist. Maybe it's just a toxic person. Period. Um, but one of the first things you'll notice is, well, let me give a scenario. Like, say if you are in a relationship, whether it's between a male and a female, or an eros relationship, or if it's between siblings, parents, co-workers, or whomever it is. Um, the person has, you may not even realize the person has control of the whole situation, but in reality, uh, the person is in control of you. Well, when you wake up and realize what's happening around you, um, you realize that things are not equal, but it's one sided, and you realize that you're not valued. You just simply realize that you have no control in this, whatever type of relationship it is. You wake up and you decide, hey, I can do better and I want to do better. Hi, Lakin. Hi, Ginger C. You decide, you wake up and you decide, hey, I want to do better and I can do better. So I'm just going to go ahead and go about my business and live my life. I can do bad by myself, or I can do bad while I'm with this person. Well, what happens is, this person, even before you decide, hey, I'm going to move on with my life, it's toxic, it's not any good, this person will feel that you are going to leave. They feel, they already have a sense that they are losing control. Um, Now, in the case of a narcissist, what will happen is they will begin to smear your name. They will begin to say things to make you look like you're the bad person in preparation for when the split up is final. And therefore, you appear to be the one who is the cause, because a narcissist never wants to be blamed for anything. They want to be blameless, they don't want to be held accountable, and therefore they will begin to smear your name with people so that you will look like you're in the wrong. So smear campaign can start before you even decide to separate yourself from this situation. Okay. This is when they realize they have lost control. And when they really realize, okay, it's done. I don't have control anymore, is when you decide, I'm gone. I'm out. Now, what happens from there is a multitude of things can happen. Um, One thing that'll happen is they can build a source of flying monkeys, which we have talked about flying monkeys before. And the flying monkeys are people who the narcissist will recruit to do things on their behalf, because narcissists, they like to keep their hands clean, like they have nothing to do with what's happening, because they always want to appear blameless. So they will recruit others to do things for them, whether it's subliminal or whether it's right in your face. They have people who will do things on their behalf, and most of the time, these people have no idea. They just believe what the narcissist is saying. They will feel loyal. They will feel obligated to this person. And so they will help out. They may not ask them to do something blatant, but they could ask something like, hey, go check this out. Look at this. Let me think of something. Go check so and so out and let me know how they're doing. Sometimes you realize what this person is doing, but sometimes you may not realize. Hi, Legend. How you doing? Thank you for joining. You may not realize that this person is recruiting you as a flying monkey. You go along and you find out what's happening and you report it back to the narcissist, and um, you're thinking, okay, they just want to know how they're doing because they may give you this sympathy line like, I miss them so much. I'm just so concerned about how they're doing. Or they can make it like, well, that person was crazy. She was crazy, and you know, I just want to make sure she didn't hurt herself. Make sure she's not hurting her kids. So can you find out what's going on with her and get back with me and let me know? So you, as a flying monkey, will go and scope out the atmosphere and find out what's going on with this person, and you have absolutely no clue that you are reporting to a narcissist who is a control freak, and they want to know what's happening in this person's life that they've lost control over. um, they won't do the stalking. They will have the flying monkey do the stalking. Sometimes the flying monkey will realize, wait a minute, if you are done with this person, why are you asking me to go check this person out and report to you what's happening? If you're truly done, there should be no report. It's over. Then you may start to, put two and two together. Wait a minute. I'm not reporting back to you. I'm not going to be your flying monkey. And let me backtrack a little bit. The flying monkey comes from the Wizard of Oz, where everything that's told. Hello, hello. I'm sorry. Can you all hear me? Sorry about that. My phone rang, and I got disconnected for a minute, but I'm back. So let me read a few comments. I was talking about the flying monkey and what the flying monkey is, as far as them being titled the flying monkey, because the monkeys on the Wizard of Oz, everything the witch directed them to do, they did it. They didn't care why, who they were hurting, what type of effect they would have on the victim. They would just go do it with no problem. And that is essentially what a flying monkey is. And like I said a few minutes ago, they have no idea that they are a flying monkey most times. And some people who know they are a flying monkey don't care. They just do what the narcissist says because they have been pulled into the belief system that the narcissist has given them because of the manipulation. So after they lose control, they will triangulate the situation by bringing in what is known as the flying monkeys. Um, Not only will they do recruit flying monkeys, they can how do okay, from my experience, when I let go and the narcissist that I was involved with realized that they had lost control, intimidation started taking place. Intimidation, uh, bullying, but it wasn't an overt type of bullying or an obvious bullying. It was quiet. It was um, kind of silent, but it was bullying. Um, but before we get to the bully part, well, no, let's keep on talking about the bullying. It's a weird thing because when they do decide to become, they're already bullies anyway, by the way, but when they do decide to intimidate or bully after the whole relationship is over, um, it's a double-edged sword because not only do they bully you, but they also seek sympathy and attention at the same exact time. It is the weirdest thing in the world, and it is hard to comprehend because they have done whatever damage that they have done to you. They realize that they have um, been put in a place where they need to be held accountable. Narcissists never want to be held accountable or blamed for anything because they are, in their eyes, they are perfect. And because they don't want to be held accountable, they will cry out for sympathy to deflect what was just revealed about them as a person. Now, I don't know if I'm sounding twisted, so am I being understood right now? Because I'm trying to say it as simple as I can without confusing um everybody. Oh, I see I got some interaction in the chat. They want all the attention but never want to give you attention. Agenda C, correct. Um, it's weird. A narcissist is a foo-foo starter and turn around speaking like Joel. Oh my gosh. Um, okay, let me get back on topic. Am I being clear? Do I need to say it a little more simpler? Okay. So while this narcissist is sitting back looking at the fact that they've done things they have to be held accountable for, they will cry out any kind of way they can cry out. They're going to cry out and make it seem like they are the number one victim. They did no wrong. Um, they while they're bullying at the same time. That's the only way I can explain it. Um, the reason why they bully is so that they can intimidate you and try to get you to back down, be quiet, go into a corner, um, basically shut up. Um, I don't want you exposing me. I don't want anybody to know I need to be held accountable. Um, so therefore, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna show out. Um, I'm gonna make sure that you retreat so that I can keep doing what I want to do without ever being held accountable. So there's a flip flop with the narcissist once they lose control. They will cry out for sympathy while bullying at the same time. So those are two things that I talked about. I talked about them recruiting the flying monkeys, and I also talked about them um, crying out as a victim for sympathy and bullying at the same time. Um, Now, when they do the smear campaign, what they're ultimately doing is they realize they've lost control of you. So what they do at that point is they try to control how people see you as a person. Because at this point, once you are awakened and you realize who or what you're dealing with, they want to make sure other people, whoever they are around or whoever knows the both of you, like when I was in a relationship with that guy, um, he wanted to orchestrate how people saw me as a person only because he lost control of me. So for everyone who knew us, I didn't know I was crazy. I didn't know I was um I needed medication. I mean, it was so many things this guy accused me of after we split up, because he lost control and therefore wanted people to see me in a whole different light, as a whole different person than what I am. I can't even remember everything he did. He did so much, but the whole point is, if they lose control of you, at that point, they try to control how everyone else sees you as a person. And this right here is mixed in with the recruiting of the flying monkeys, or the people who will jump on their bandwagon and do their dirty work for them, whether they realize it or not. One of the prime things that'll happen once a narcissist loses control is narcissistic rage. It can happen in a whole lot of different ways, but nevertheless, it is rage. They can rage out loud. They can rage by doing sneaky things behind your back that will somehow affect your life or affect loved ones. It could affect your employment. It could affect it could affect a whole lot of different things if they decide to do it quietly. But most narcissistic rage comes out as yelling, cursing folks out. Um, the rage can be, it can set you back, or should I say, it can surprise you because it seems like it comes from nowhere. Um, the person is quiet. You feel like, okay, it's over, it's done with. The person is okay. I'm over this whole situation in my life. And then all of a sudden, either before you, like when I say before you, I mean like right in your face, or over the phone. Hello, you answer the phone, or this person could be talking to somebody else. The whole person is, they just burst out in this angry rage, angry, uncontrollable rage. That's right, legend. The rage is unbelievable. Hi, Diva. Hi, Lakin. Hi, Wanda. Just speaking to everybody. And let me give you another example of when I was talking about earlier, as far as the narcissist will play victim or seek sympathy. After this person rages, don't you know in a blink of an eye, this person could turn around and seek sympathy from you after you have raged on a person that they inflicted harm to. They will go crying wolf about this and that, and they flip from this person who was just raging on you like some kind of beast from the forest somewhere to this meek and mild, I don't know, critter that if you could just step on. They go from this beast to something just meek and mild. If, I wish I could like literally give you the perfect example. I hope that example was good enough. But they can rage on you and in a split second start crying. Um, because what happens is they realize they have exposed themselves by raging. And at that point, they want to pull it back in and make you forget that they just raged on someone, and the person that they raged on, they want to make sure in your mind you keep your head on the fact or about what they raged on. Like if they call this person, I don't know, whatever they raged on this person about, they want to make sure you keep your mind on that. So they will quickly turn around to sympathy so you can empathize with them while at the same time you are keeping the thoughts that they just said about this person in your mind. Next thing you know, they're being showered with all of this sympathy and I'm so sorry this and I'm so sorry that. And in the back of your mind, the person has already implemented a reverse psychology. They have you thinking the worst about this person that they raged on and having you think the best about them at the same exact time. The same time. Let me look at this chat. They hurt my feelings. Give me some money. Okay. So we talked about the does anybody have any questions before I go any further? But they rage and they seek sympathy immediately to distract or deflect from what just happened. The fact that they just raged. Okay. Now, what can we do about some of this stuff? Um, how can we fight against it? How can we fight against the bullying, the intimidation? How can we fight against the rage? How can we fight against the flying monkeys? The best way to fight a narcissist is to just leave them alone. Ignore, no contact. That right there rips through them. They cannot take it. They don't know what's happening. They have to question everything. Um, Number one, not only have you stripped them of their, you basically removed the mask for them. Um, they now have to wonder how much of that mask has like literally been removed. How much are people seeing about me? How much have I exposed about myself? How much has the victim exposed about me? Um, how does this one feel? Because at the end of the day, a narcissist is only concerned about what other people feel about them. They have no self-esteem. They have no confidence. Um, they have nothing going for them. So at all times, they are worried about how everybody feels about them. This is why they are this is another reason why they are the way they are. Their main concern is to look perfected, is to be the center of attention, to be the spotlight, to be the one that everybody loves. Um, But once that mask is compromised, they sit and wonder, well, what are people thinking? Um, what's going to happen now? What? They don't know. So therefore, you may have instances where you may see another strike, or should I say, another period of rage. And once again, remember the rage can come all types of ways. It doesn't have to be verbal. It could be written. I mean, it could be, like I said, if people just trying to destroy your life, the cops knock on your door and all of a sudden tell you, hey, I need to take your kids because somebody reported you. Some kind of way they're going to rage. But if you don't understand that it is rage, you will in turn do something that they try to do, which is to provoke you to anger, so that everything they exposed or told about you that were just a pile of lies, it will seem real because you have in turn reacted to their provocation. It is called reactive abuse. They will do things to you over and over again to try to trigger you. Because remember, these narcissists have gotten to know you very well. They know what will trigger you. So they will do things to try to trigger you to get a response. And the next thing you know, you're doing something that looks very similar to the lies they have told, number one, to their flying monkeys, and just to people in general, even people that you know, your mom, your sister, your co-workers, your children, it doesn't matter. They will tell them all types of things. And as soon as you react out of frustration or because somebody has poked you to the point where you react, as soon as you react, that's a win for them. It's a win. So the best thing to do to fight against a narcissist or a toxic person when you have separated yourself, when you've experienced rage, when you experience bullying, the best thing to do is not react at all. Just don't react. Try your best not to react. If you feel like you're going to react, try to move yourself away from the situation. If you feel like you cannot remove yourself from the situation, do whatever you can, just try not to hear or see what's happening, because the next thing I said, like I just said, you will start to react, and everything this person lied on you about, whether they said you were crazy or um watch, if I do so and so, I'm gonna tell you right now, um she's crazy. She'll just jump up and fight me for no reason. This person will see you out in the street or wherever you are. You've already dealt with years of abuse from this person. Years. This person will see you out in the street, walk up to you and say something that they know will trigger you. And next thing you know, you might swing on them out of nowhere, making you appear to be crazy. So this whole dynamic of um, narcissism, and when they lose control, and there's more things that can happen. Sometimes I have to like actively see it to relate it to narcissism. Um, Sometimes I don't. But there are a series of things that can happen, and it doesn't have to be in a certain order. But every toxic person or narcissist ends up reacting the same types of ways at different times. Um, Lakin says, "Oh my God, I have a family member did that to me." My reaction, yes, it's called reactive abuse. And a lot of us don't realize, because I know what can happen in toxic situations. I don't just look at what I see for face value. I have to kind of understand what's happening before I call a person crazy, because I know a narcissist will literally make you look like a crazy person so that whatever they've told people, in a smear campaign can look like it's the truth. So people are that evil. They will literally do that. Ginger C, they will attack you when you are the weakest and most vulnerable. Correct. They will attack you when you're vulnerable. They will literally do things to you. Um, know that they have injured you in some type of way, and then they'll come back around and kick you. Just kick you when you're down. They don't care. They don't care. They have no remorse. They have no morals. They have nothing. But they can fool the masses to believe that they do. Okay, imagine if, or should I say, think about when you were a child and you wanted to get a toy, or you wanted something, um, I don't know, you knew that you didn't deserve what you wanted, but you would try anything. You would use any tactic to get it. You would cry. Um, you may try to guilt trip your parent. It's a lot of things you would do as a child to try to get what you wanted. These toxic people will literally do things in an effort to get the sympathy and and what they need. They don't care. They don't care how they do it. They just don't care. So it is it's this is why when I talked about narcissism a while ago, it is so layered. It's actually a topic that you could talk about for days, weeks, months. Um, it's not just at one level. Like I could tell you probably even more. You may have to just, I don't know, if you gave me a question, I could probably think about something. If you asked me a question, I could probably think about it from another angle. It's so multi-layered. Um, it's hard to believe that people, well, no, it's not hard. Narcissists, you may as well say they're chess players. They are chess players. They have already moved 4 and 5. They've already seen 4 and 5 moves on that board while you're at your first move. They see every move they should make before you even get to it. They are always one step ahead. And legend says they don't care about nothing except self. Correct. That's all they care about is themselves. Um, once you experience that uh, narcissistic injury, I'm saying that wrong. Once they have hurt you, it's hard. I'm hesitating because from my experience, what I'm saying it as if it's easy to just go no contact, leave these people alone and refocus. Literally, that is what needs to be done. You leave the person alone, and I don't mean just ignore them. I mean you go like no contact. Don't contact these people. You block them. You try to make sure they cannot reach you. None of their friends can reach you, family, and you try to refocus and move on. It's a lot easier said than done because it was a task for me. It was hard. And I hate to just say it like that, like you just supposed to poof, that person is no longer existed, or they never existed, or they're no longer existing. It's hard to do it because you've been hurt. Um, but what I find most effective is just going no contact. Just try to block the person. Try not to, don't look for them. I've made that mistake. I've called myself going no contact, and I've gone and tried to figure out what's going on with this person myself just out of curiosity, and it will trigger you to take you back to those painful moments. It can make you regress instead of progress, and you'll regress. You'll go backwards. You may find yourself being vulnerable to a hoovering where they come back and try to suck you back into that life. So for your peace and your sanity, when you've been hurt by these people, you have to try to ignore, and as much as you can, if you cannot ignore them, just don't respond to them. Just make like they don't even exist, because that hurts them more than anything else when you ignore a narcissist, because the main thing they look for is attention, sympathy, because they have that's I mean that's what they thrive on. Um, another thing I want to explain is that when you see the narcissist seeking that sympathy or attention, especially after they've lost control and they no longer have that grade A supply, or let me just speak in layman's terms, if they no longer have that person that they've been using or abusing anymore, they will cry out for sympathy. And the reason why they cry out for it is because the sympathy gives them supply, it gives them life. If they hear, I'm sorry, or I wish this didn't happen, or, all of those types of things to make them feel loved or some type of affection or whatever, it gives them life. It's a source of supply. And sometimes I may sound mean or evil when I say that these people don't deserve, but they don't. To me, they don't, because they don't have any good in their heart at all. I don't think they deserve it, but it is what it is. That's just life. That's how life is. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody want me to drop the link? I dropped it a little early. I don't know if it's still there. Um, let's get past the hurt that I struggle with. Yes, Marissa, that's the hardest part, is getting past that hurt. I'm gonna use myself as an example. When I got out of my narcissistic relationship, it was a January, and it took me about half a year. And if I want to be real, I don't struggle as much as I used to, but it's still a struggle. These people get into your head and they can like literally change. Like I said one time before, they can change the structure of your mind like a drug. Um, you find yourself still saying you miss them, and then you wake up and say, "Wait a minute, what am I saying? I miss them. I don't miss this person. This was the worst person I ever met in my life." But it's a struggle. It's a real hard struggle from the beginning, but it's a constant struggle. Like I said, it's like letting go of an addiction. It's something that you have to fight for the rest of your life. That's why no contact is the best thing, so you don't get pulled back into it. I was listening to Bree Ham, this morning, and she had to use receipts of her husband acting like a narc. He's jealous for her success. Well, guess what? This is what I mean when I say the flying monkey part. If they recruit people, or when they have people believe in a certain way, I don't care what receipts you put out. I don't care um, what kind of evidence, if it's in black and white, if it's on video. Certain people are still going to believe these people. That's the reason why I call it deeper than just natural. It's spiritual. It's literally good versus evil. It's demonic. The spirit that dwells in these people are able to convince people that they are being truthful. And that's a shame. But um, even with proof, these people will still lie. They just deny the truth. They just to not look like a normal human being that makes mistakes, that can err in life. They will continue to lie just so they do not have to be held accountable. Because in their eyes, they are the perfect person. So even with receipts, narcissists will still lie. Even after they've done something just so outrageous and everybody can see it, they will still not humble themselves and say, I'm sorry. And if they do say, I'm sorry, it's not real. And you can almost tell it's not real because it just doesn't sound or feel real. So those are the things that I wanted to talk about today as far as what happens when the narcissist loses control. I wrote a little notes. I'm looking over my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. Let me see here. I wrote some notes while I was at work. Um, I basically touched everything or discussed everything. Um, except this part here. I have a little note here saying that they will use your experiences against you, things they know about you, stuff that you've shared. They use it to smear you. They use I've had that before. I've had that happen before. When I was with that guy, um certain medicines, certain doctors you go see or whatever, they can twist it and make it seem like you have a problem with their flying monkeys or in courts. Say if you had to go for a custody battle or I mean any type of a situation involving the law, they will use these things against you so that they can win. They will never apologize or say sorry, but will expect you all the time. Yes, they expect you to have rules and expectations that they don't follow. So it's very hard living with a narcissistic or toxic person. Um, a lot of us do it. I mean, when I think back to when I was in my relationship, I don't know how I did it, but I just don't know how. I think about how free I am now, mentally as well as physically. I'm just free from the whole situation. That was the worst part of my life. The worst, just the worst. And I think I have a guest. Let me see who's here. Hello.
Hey, 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 how are you?
Are you here?
I'm here. You hear me?
I hear you, but I don't see you on the screen. How am I supposed to add you to this screen? Can y'all hear her?
I don't know.
Hold on a minute. Let me see something.
All right.
Ah, there you go.
Hey, I'm back. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna put
Okay.
you on my chest so I can talk. I pretty much wanted to. thank you for just um explaining what a narcissistic person is. Um my experience was with someone that I dealt with, and I knew that he wasn't right, but like you said, the narcissist would say sorry. They would do things to kind of persuade you that they are sympathetic. If I'm sounding correct, am I sounding clear?
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. Right.
Um, they are quick to put the blame, especially if they're going through some hardship in their life. He was quick to blame me for it,
Mm-hmm.
um, saying that because I didn't want to open my doors is the reason why he was in his situation, and how I felt dealing with him is definitely a peace taker. Um, I was drained. I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was going crazy, um, just for pretty much knowing that this man was holding secrets, and me still wanting to deal with them, even finding out that he was doing the things that he was. Um, it was not good. I in the beginning it was all peaches and cream. Of course, he was doing his thing where it convinced me that I wanted to just give up everything, just walk away from everything that I worked so hard on building.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened, how I got past it, because I felt like I couldn't. I always find myself calling him or
Mm-hmm.
picking up his phone calls. Um, and I knew that I needed to get away from him.
Mm-hmm.
But he had, and you know what? I go back because when I did have intercourse with him, I did see a demon on him, and even knowing that, I was still willing to deal with it. That
Mm-hmm.
I was like
Mm-hmm.
now when I look at it, it's a lesson learned.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for the mate that I do have. Um, he's not perfect, but he loves me for real.
Mm-hmm.
He cares and he takes accountability from when
Mm-hmm.
he is wrong. You know what I'm saying? But this guy, he was like a monster. He was like a demon. He didn't care
Mm-hmm.
what he said. To make a long story short, one day late August, I was so depressed. For whatever reason I was depressed about. And I started to think about everything, the words that he spoke over my life, and they were not good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I began to cry and cry, and I just started praying. I said, God, I know I messed up. I know I wasn't supposed to put my hands on it, but can you please intervene and protect me in the process because I don't know how to let go. Next thing you know, some things happened where it was forced
Mm-hmm.
for me to separate. And I'm not gonna say I don't think about him because a heart, is delicate. And I'm a person that has is an empath that loves with all of them, all of me, I mean. And, pretty much, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm bugged out for even thinking about him, but I'm just a sympathetic person because I know that he has a story. I know that he has been through some things, that he's in a place mentally where he can't control it. It's become normal to him.
Well, that's why you pray for them because they do have problems. The reason why they are the way they are. Um,
Right.
and that's why you continue to pray. That's the only thing I can say because nothing can change these people until they can either get the help they need spiritually or psychologically.
Right.
They just have problems. But that thing you experienced when you said you couldn't let go, it was hard for me too. That's that trauma bond I talked about
It
before.
was that soul tie.
Soul tie slash trauma bond. Yep, that's
Yep.
exactly what it was.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
And you would think that, this is someone, and I'm speaking for what my experience. This is someone that you have dealt with in the past, and we were younger, so I don't know, if he was experiencing anything, but I feel like his experience over the years led him to be the way he is, where he's not realizing the hurt that he causes on the women that he come in contact with. It's never his fault. It's their fault.
Right. That's that blame shifting. That's
Yes.
that's playing a victim so you don't have to hold yourself accountable. That's what that
Right.
is.
Right.
It's everybody else's fault.
Well, honey, I am grateful that I did let go. I still do feel away, but my life is better.
That's right.
I could have landed, ended up with him and been, worse off than I am today, mentally. And I didn't need that. I already went through stuff to deal with a narcissist. And I'm a Gemini, so I don't know about any other side, but I know as for me, I get bored and they get played out. So instead of
Oh,
me,
okay. Hello? Maritza, I think we lost you.
hello?
Oh, there you go. I hear you.
Yeah, I got a phone call. That was my best friend. I have to call her back.
Hmm.
Um, but it was just a bad experience, but it was a lesson learned. It allowed me to pick and choose, really dig deep into the person that I was dealing with, which is my man, because that was like right after the breakup with this guy, I met him.
Right.
Um, and he, like I said, he's not perfect, but he loves me. He courts me. I got sick. He's right there. He don't like hospitals. He spend the night. Stuff like that. That you know, we all look into for a mate. Hello,
Oh, I'm still here. I'm listening to you. You know, I
my
let you talk. I'm listening.
yeah, my screen is black. That call just knocked the picture out. But anyway,
But you still
um,
here.
but it is what it is. God is good, and I'm
Um,
here. But yeah, I've noticed even just with friends and my experience with my girl that I'm no longer um she didn't see the errors of her ways. She would come to me with gossip. I'm an open book. I'm quick to point out how I used to be because it's my testimony
that's
and
right.
I know where it came from. But this lady would just come and just it's never a happy moment with the conversation. And no matter what I say, to say, sis, sometimes you have to let go, completely let go and let God. No matter what I say, each and every time I speak to her, she is talking about people, downgrading
Y-
their hardship. And it just got to a point where it started to show in my actions where I was less available. Speak to her when I wanted to, or
Right.
if she started a topic, I would quickly switch it because I don't want to hear it. And
Right.
if
You
I'm
don't want to.
explaining to you
Hmm.
as a friend,
Hmm.
look, God is really steering me in a different direction. I recognize all the stuff that I have done to people. It wasn't because anything they did to me, but it was coming from a hurtful place. And there's a saying that hurt people. When you already established and forgave, I felt like it was no need to even just have a discussion of degrading because I'm not in that headspace. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yes.
to
And
make a
that is a
long
true saying.
Yeah, to make a long story short, she called me and I had just woke up and I was like, I'm just waking up. Of course, she started talking trash about the lady that she hangs with. And next thing you know, later on that day, I get a nasty text. She was like, I'm just cutting ties with you because you no longer serve purpose. Serve, I say purpose. I said, no longer serve purpose in my life. And I didn't know how to take it because if you're my friend and you're telling me that, I have to respect it. Like my sister is really grown up. Not feel away because I don't want to engage with the toxic conversation um with about someone that I no longer have a grudge on. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes, you just don't want to talk about. I just don't like talking about people. Period, especially when it's malicious.
Right,
I mean, the truth be known, everybody talks about people. That's just life. But when you
right.
start talking about people maliciously, I don't want to have anything to do with it. So I'm just like you. As soon as you get to gossiping and saying all of this crazy stuff, I exit the conversation. I don't want to have anything to do with it. Um,
Yeah, everybody
I
talks their stuff. You
that's
know what I'm
right.
saying? I'll be lying to say that I don't. I
Yeah, that's
sometimes
life.
do. I'm getting better. That's one.
Hmm.
One thing that I don't like is um people degrading while a person is down.
Exactly.
Making them feel less than. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's just evil. And even when I was, not doing right, that part I had respect for. Like I don't like her, but I ain't gonna talk about her and her downfall. I'm not gonna beat her further down. She's already down. So that was the reason why she did what she did. But again, I'm a prayer. I asked God to remove it. To remove it if she no longer served purpose. And he knew that I couldn't walk away from that friendship. Why? Because of the years invested. When he intervened and she did that, I was not even mad. I promise you. I felt more relieved than anything because I didn't have to be exposed to hearing her dogging someone that I no longer want to dog. I'm not
Right.
there no more. I recognize why I was acting the way I was. It was because I was holding on and I was hurt. I experienced a traumatic experience. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I mean, that's what we just basically, that's natural. That's like it's certain phases to healing or stages to healing. And
right,
anger is definitely one of them. And I think that anger is the hardest or the one of the last things you can get over, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know.
right,
Oh, and once again, disclaimer, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a psychotherapist, I'm not a psychologist. Everything you hear me speak is just from my own personal opinion and from my personal experiences. So I just want to throw that out there. Don't want to give anybody any advice or people to
right.
think I'm some type of professional because I'm not.
You're
Um,
professional as far as the experience.
experience, right. Legend had a question. Has anybody ever dealt with two narcissists?
Yes,
And
me and the person. I was kidding.
look, um, a male and a female, Ginger C. I had, and that's my answer. A male and a female. The first one I experienced was a male, and the second one was a female. And the female one I can say was different than the male. And I guess that falls in line with the fact that we're two different. I mean, it's a male and a female. We think differently. So when you approach a male narcissist, because it's from an eros perspective or um spousal or you're dating a person, of course it's going to be different from like a friend, like a female to female friendship, or it's different. And I'm still trying to absorb and be able to explain it a little more. But yes, I have dealt with two narcissists, two of them. Um, well, folks, it's 4:35. I guess Marissa dropped. So if we don't have any more questions or anything to say today, it's about time for me to clock in at job number two. Um, wait a second. Okay, you dropped. Can you hear me? You're back.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I went to touch the screen and it took me all the way out.
It's okay. I kicked myself out a couple of times today, but I was about to wrap up because it's about
Okay.
time for me to clock in at job number two. You got anything else you want to say? I got a few minutes.
I just want to say thank you for sharing your story. I know sometimes people don't like to share, but I know from my experience, the more I share my past trauma, the quicker I heal. So, thank you
That's right.
for being bold enough to speak and tell your story. And that's it. And thank you for allowing me to come up.
Oh, thank you. You can come up anytime. As a matter of
Hey
fact,
girl, hey girl, we be here
yes,
all day
I
talking
know, I
crap.
know.
But I appreciate you and keep doing what you're doing in God because like I stated from the very beginning, since we met, God had you didn't go through what you went through for no reason. God is gonna
Right.
use your hurt as a testimony to help somebody else out. And you just educated a sister because I didn't know what I was dealing with until you started speaking about it, and I'm like, hey, that sounds familiar. I think I know him.
Oh,
So
wow.
it kind of I kind of plugged in to realize what I was dealing with. But again,
Oh, well,
thank you,
thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you. I am here until the wheels fall off. Let's kick Satan in the balls because he
That's
deserves
right.
it. And
That's
let's
right.
continue to walk in our purpose. And don't let nothing or anyone distract us because, like them flying monkeys are sent out to redirect us to a different route that we don't want to go into.
That's
So,
right.
with that being said, thank you. You have a blessed
Okay.
one. Okay.
Thank you. And we're going to close on out on that note. So,
All right.
until next time. All right. See you
Ciao.
guys later. Thank you for joining.